How are we doing, everybody, and welcome back to the Catalyst, where we break down all things bullish in the crypto markets. First off, Happy New Year, everybody. So we have the new year coming in tomorrow, so I figured it'd be a good day to talk about Flexa going forward and AMP and the Flexa network and what to expect for 2022. So as you know, we recently finished the 25 days of Flexa, where the Flexa network basically accomplished phase one of some of their short-term goals, or just their whole thesis around AMP and the Flexa network, which was, as you see this check mark here, any asset. So this is kind of a phrase to use: any asset in any app at any store in the world. Those are their three major milestones that they have as a company and just as a network, in a way to establish what their thesis is. And they were able to, in this last year, accomplish phase one pretty much, where they now have dozens and dozens and dozens of the most popular assets available to be used and operated on with the Flexa network. So now going forward into 2022, you see this next possible phase is in any app. And with that, the Flexa network's obviously already on quite a few applications. I think the biggest thing going forward is the idea of banking in 2022. Because of these institutions now adopting crypto or allowing crypto as a way to, be a store of value for you on your different banking apps, you can imagine that Flexa will now be potentially integrated. We're already fully approved to transmit money and all of that stuff. So it's just all kind of, the stars are kind of aligning here for Flexa to then going forward be integrated on some banking apps, which alone that would be enormous. And then after that would be the idea of getting it into all of the stores that you can think of. So I would imagine for 2022, at least the first two quarters would be getting Flexa integrated onto more applications, or usable for more applications, and then from there, that would be targeting banks, targeting institutions, targeting things like PayPal or Visa and stuff like that. Whereas then the next phase after that would then be, say, okay, let's target Amazon now. Now that we have this whole pool of accessibility that we can provide to this company, we can just ease all of their transactions, no questions asked. We would be at the top of the industry in terms of collateralizing transactions at lower fees. We already know Amazon is dropping, I believe it's Visa, in the UK, because of the fee prices are just way too much. And the fees are a common issue for small businesses as well. So that would be probably towards the end of the year, maybe into 2023 and beyond, would be adding bigger players like Walmart, Amazon, etc. So I would imagine, at least in the early phases of 2022, we are going to be fully, going into banking and other applications. And that's obviously laid out here in their kind of brief little 3-part timeline that they have for the company and just for the network itself. So I think that's what to expect overall from Flexa going into 2022 and beyond. And then imagine, as we check off that next box, that last box there would be Amazon. It would be, we already have Shopify coming in eventually, all of the bigger players in the world. So think about that going forward. But ultimately, temper some expectations for an Amazon announcement going into 2022. I think that would be later, potentially towards the end of 22 or 23 and beyond. I obviously don't know how quick they could make that turnaround, but first things first, we got to get into all of the applicable applications. So now let's check out the price action here. So obviously there's nothing super crazy going on with AMP. The market has been kind of stagnant. More or less, Bitcoin's been in just a consolidation for a full year now, or 8 months or 10 months, something like that. What we do see here, though, on the RSI, we actually broke some resistance and are now testing it as support. So what I'd be curious to see here is any sort of bounce off this trend line. You see this is going back from, I believe that's the Binance listing back here. We had a big top out and then a big pullback and then another top out here and then another slow pullback. And we came up, started to break it a bit, tested it back again as support. We hit some resistance up in here, I guess. It actually, you can see now, this is the Coinbase listing. So you can see here, this red line, that is the start of the 200 daily moving average there. So we did get wicked out of that a little bit, which I think is fine. But we are starting to ride some support here. We're currently seeing it as resistance. So what we would need to see now is a bounce off of the RSI, which would then probably flip us over the 20 and then, you know, start to do some stuff in there. Again, I'm not expecting any major surges, but like if a major bank or some industry adopts Flexa again, that's always going to drive the price up a bit for us there. And that's as banks and stuff start to do that too and use that as a way for their clients and people that use their applications to accumulate crypto. That would be a huge asset for the Flexa network and for the AMP in terms of just justifying its price action. So going forward, I would imagine with some announcements of some big banks, like if Bank of America is like, hey, we're using Flexa Network, you can now buy crypto on the Bank of America app, whatever it might be, that could certainly drive the price up quite a bit. Just think about the number of users there are with general banking apps across the world. There's quite a few people involved in that. And I think that's a really easy way for Flexa to then target merchants and say, hey, every single person, or you know, some very large percentage of the population in the world has a way to make purchases using crypto, and now you can make sales and receive payments from crypto using the Flexa network as a merchant. So that is kind of the future of AMP, in my opinion, and Flexa and crypto. That is kind of where crypto is going to be going. Regardless of Flexa's existence, banks are going to adopt crypto because their clients are going to be asking for it. They're like, hey, we want a slice of this crypto thing here. What's going on? Why can't we do it? Because previously a lot of banks were super against it. And now it's, you know, very much becoming a popularized thing. So I think AMP is on its way to a good year in 2022. 2021 was great. I mean, the chart here previous to the Coinbase listing, you know, we had a pretty nuclear run up. So if you were in that early, kudos to you, because that would have been awesome. But even now, I think here, you know, we have been accumulating basically since the listing on Coinbase, right? So like we have an average somewhere here, which is, you know, 5.5 cents or something like that. You know, we could very well see a price target where we're getting, you know, a 25 cent AMP by the end of 2022. I think that wouldn't be too ludicrous to think that. Obviously that we have plenty of runway here ahead of us, but I think, you know, that's a pretty conservative price point. My price point's at 25 cents, which would be, you know, way up here. So somewhere up here, and that still wouldn't be all that crazy. Look at what, you know, ADA did, what Matic did, all these other cryptos that went from 5 cents to $4 in 1 year. I don't think we'll go that high, but you know, we'll certainly see some good gains, I think. And as we get more adoption and utility and utilization, AMP is on its way to succeed going forward into 2022. So that's all I got for you guys. Enough of my rambling. Enjoy your new year, and otherwise, we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.